So Microsoft often gets the blame for forcing Kinect down consumers' throats and basically neutering the game studio Rare, who up until Microsoft had purchased them, they were putting out games like GoldenEye, Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong, Conquer, and tons more. And then once Microsoft bought them out, they started focusing more and more on Kinect games and basically became like the Kinect studio for a while. But according to an ex-Rare employee, it wasn't Microsoft who wanted to turn Rare into the Kinect studio. Here's a quote. He says, "Everybody likes to create this narrative that Microsoft is evil, but that's not the case. Phil Spencer taking the mantle of Xbox is one of the best things that could have happened for Rare, because he's always said to people at Rare, as the general manager of Microsoft Studios at the time, do what you want to do, and we're going to back you." So it was people in Rare's management at the time who said, well, Kinect is a great opportunity for the studio, so let's go all in on it. So when executives at Microsoft see the management teams are passionate about doing that, they back them. Microsoft, to their credit, did that, and perhaps the story online isn't quite reflective of the truth. End quote. So when Microsoft had this prototype for Kinect that they were taking around showing to people in different teams, it was people at Rare, according to this guy, who stood up and said, we want to be the premier audience for Kinect titles. So they ended up shelving a bunch of games that they were working on, and they tried to get everybody on board within the studio to do things with Kinect. And you also got to remember, because people forget history, at the launch of Kinect, people thought that Kinect was a success. You know, how many times do you hear people today talking about how sales equals winning? Sales equals success. Well, Kinect set a Guinness World Record with sales when it was launched. After 60 days, they had sold 8 million units. And by February 2013, they had sold 24 million Kinects. And so, I mean, that's why I'm a little bit dumbfounded when people bring up sales as proof of something being great. You can have great sales numbers, but maybe you don't have that great of a product, because I don't know how many people are going to raise their hand right now and say that the Kinect was great. But anyway, so Rare felt that they were going to have a big audience, and that it was them who wanted to push Kinect and work on Kinect games. And now that Kinect has been dropped as being mandatory for Xbox One, it appears Rare is finally getting back on board with what they should have been doing all along, which is making games that the rest of us actually want to play. And, I mean, me personally, I'm pretty excited about seeing more Sea of Thieves, because so far what I've seen is intrigued me. But let me say this, because some people are very easily confused out there. And not all of you, a lot of people get it. A lot of people understand that sometimes I'm just giving you a story. I'm just telling you what's in the news. It doesn't necessarily mean that I agree with it. So I'm just telling you what this guy said. But as far as my personal opinion goes, I still wouldn't blame Rare for Kinect. Ultimately, it is Microsoft who signs off on this stuff. And Kinect, whether you like it or not, try to take your personal feelings and set them aside for a moment. I've told you before, I like the voice commands in Kinect. I use them all the time, but I can still be objective. And Kinect has been a failure for Xbox One. And a lot of missed opportunities have been completely missed because they weren't even attempted. I told you I enjoy voice commands, but where's all the other features? And like I said before, voice commands can be done with a headset. You don't need an official camera or device with a special processor inside it just to do freaking voice commands. It's something that your phone can do right now. And ultimately, it's up to Microsoft to sell Kinect. A lot of people get upset every time I disconnect, but it's up to Microsoft to justify having it. And they couldn't justify having it, which is why it was separated from the system and isn't necessary. It was never necessary. Where are these games that we were told were going to come where you could scan objects in and use them in game? Where's the horror games that can read your heartbeat and change the game based on your pulse rate? And it knows whether or not you're scared, so it, uses more of that tactic and less of this other tactic that doesn't appear to be affecting you. Where's the games, for Christ's sake, that allow you to scan your body into game and you put yourself in the video game? I mean, these are basic items we should be getting with this camera. but they've never materialized. I mean, there's been a handful of games that have tried some of these. I mean, you've got a basketball game, you got, I think, a wrestling game where you can scan your face in for your character, but is that really worth owning the camera for? No. They still haven't nailed down the very first trailer that they showed you with the original Kinect. Too many people feel like they're on the PR or sales team for both Microsoft and Sony. But you gotta call a spade, and you gotta call a dud. And Kinect, so far, has been a dud. It's up to Microsoft, again, to justify people having one, period. You know, I had a few friends who bought an Xbox One for Christmas, and they asked me, they said, do I need to, pick up a Kinect as well? And I told them, look, I explained my situation. I said, I like using the voice commands, but I don't have kids running around. It's quiet in my house, so everything picks up nice and easy. It works as it's intended to, but no, you don't need it. If you're going to stream, you might want it because it allows you to show your face if that's what you want to do. And I think that's probably the biggest selling point of it, alongside the voice commands. But unless you get it at a really good price point, no, you don't need Kinect. So if you want to read more about this story, links down in the description box. Pretty lengthy and insightful article. Post your thoughts down below. That does it for me, the Red Dragon. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Are you listening? Damn.